my staff wrote these wonderful words, and I'm going to put them away, and that means I'm probably going to forget something very important. But this is something we've been focused on for a long time, and I think I can speak from my heart on this one. And I see this young lady here with her pretty pink umbrella and walking back and forth, and can't help but think that's really what this is all about. It's really not just for us. I mean, in part it's important to us, but it's for the future generations. It's for the young people like you, so thank you very much for being here, but also for your children and our grandchildren, future generations. That's what this is about. We hear this cliche over and over in Washington. We fight wars today over gas and oil. Our future wars will be over water. This is what it's about. We recognize the fact that the population of this planet continues to grow out of control. And yet we don't do what we need to do to make sure that our greatest natural resource, our water, is protected. For me, that's what this is all about. It's not a fact that we don't recognize the fact that we need natural gas and we need oil, but we can live without those things. We cannot live without our water. Looking at the beautiful falls here, I've been here so many times in my life. Some of you that don't know this, my father went to Cornell. So every vacation we would go on, we would always somehow find our way back through Ithaca on the way home back to Utica, and we'd end up stopping here at the falls, and my father would tell us all the stories. But it's so beautiful, and I think even the fact that it's raining here today is sort of symbolically important to us, because it is all about our water. And we need to make sure that before we go forward with any new projects, any drilling, that what they're going to do is safe. And I have to tell you, one thing that set me off this week, and this isn't even about politics, it's in the gubernatorial debate. When Carl Palladino said everything west of the New York City watershed, we should allow hydraulic fracking. Why? I mean, that to me, more than anything else says, then there's a problem. Because if you're not going to frack in the New York City water, and I don't want to disparage New York City because I understand where they're coming from, but if it's not safe enough to do in New York City, then it clearly is not safe enough to do here. You can't have it one way and not the other. That, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultimate irony of this thing. Water is what, and in fact, this is critical to us. We get so much of our water from the ground. Can we really take the kind of risk that they're talking about of contaminating our water? So what we're asking is, let's take a step back. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, and let's make sure before we take this dramatic step forward that we're taking every possible precaution. And then when you paint that sort of in the backdrop of the fact that we're looking at people getting cut in the DEC, that is very frightening. Now, this concerns me, is the money that we know that the state will make as a result of allowing hydraulic fracking is great. And if the state were to make some money, so be it. But the purpose of that money, the purpose of the licensing fees, is to make sure that the DEC has the people on staff to make sure that this is done correctly. Why would we want, look, I understand budget constraints, but why would we want to move forward with a project like this while we're cutting back on the people that have to watch what's going on? That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. That's what we're talking about. Folks, this isn't rocket science. This is common sense. Walter, he understands this. He is he's the scientist here. I'm not, but this is the common sense approach that we in government need to take. Look, if we're going to go forward, let's make sure that everything that possibly can be done is done, and that we know what we're doing before we go forward with a step like this. So folks, I'm here today to sign on this because I think it just makes sense that we take every single precaution. If it means taking a step back, why would you not want to do that? Why would you not want to be sure that before we take a chance like this, that every possible T is crossed and every I is dotted? That's all today is about. That's what I'm here for. I want to say thank you to all of you, because you are the ones that are the backbone behind this fight. People like me, you just make it very easy for me to sign on board and be here. I'm happy to be here with you, stand beside you. Walter, thank you for what you're doing, and let me sign on. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, folks. One more.
Well, I think it's very exciting that the congressman has stepped up and signed the coalition letter. This is a significant step. We need to step back and do this again. The SGEIS, this whole project, the idea of hydro-fracking is too important an issue for us to be doing it in a haphazard way and an incomplete way.
Well, Ulysses, let me back up. Ulysses has had zoning for 50 years. So Ulysses is used to the idea of land use management. Our comprehensive plans have very clearly stated that the citizens of Ulysses treasure a bucolic, rural, agricultural lifestyle. That's been clear for decades. And so, with that backdrop, now that we're faced with this prospect of industrialized gas drilling coming to our area, a bunch of citizens got together and said, look, maybe we can try to get the town board to ban the practice through land use regulation. As you probably know, or as many people know, the New York State Conservation Law prohibits regulation of gas drilling. You can't regulate it. You can't say you have to put your well here and you can't put your well here. You can't do it. It does not say you can't ban it. And although that may seem like a semantic difference, we have some very good pro bono lawyers working with us, the Community Environmental Defense Council, done a lot of research on this and say that there is indeed a legal basis for the contention that you can ban something that you can't regulate. They've done a lot of work here. They have this many cases, and they have New York State Court of Appeals decisions suggesting that we indeed can ban it, I'll put it in quotes, by regulating through zoning. In other words, you make the zoning so onerous that they would not be able to do it in town, resulting in a ban. So politically, the backdrop is we have, we meaning the Ulysses Gas Drilling Advisory Board, I'm the chairman of this group that the town board empowered to advise them on gas drilling. We've been going around town getting signatures on a petition to ban horizontal high-volume slickwater hydro-fracking, as opposed to the other kind. In Ulysses, we're close to 1,000 signatures at this point and climbing. We have no deadline as to when we want to present this resolution. We want to keep getting signatures. Our lawyers are still working. Clearly, the year is coming to an end. We're not going to assail the town board with this until early in the year. But let me also say the town board we've spoken to each person on it. They seem very supportive of this notion. There are, of course, legal things they have to look at, and you know, they have responsibilities to all members of the town, not just people interested in preventing gas drilling, and they're taking their job very seriously. But I do think that at this point, we're doing this in a logical, stepwise fashion, and I'm personally very confident that we will win. And one reason is it's simply a numbers game. 37% of Ulysses is leased. 37% of our land is leased. Those leases are owned by 4% of the people. So 96% of the people in Ulysses will get nothing out of this gas drilling except contaminated water, contaminated air, clogged roads, you know the problems associated with it. And only 4%, actually a little bit less than 4%, would profit at all. It doesn't seem democratic. It doesn't seem like the right way to go. And as we just heard Congressman Arcuri say, how can you possibly even think about trading off air and water for natural gas? It doesn't seem possible, and I think our town's going to be one of the first to say it's not going to be possible.
Hi, I'm Ellen Harrison.
I'm Peter Huderburg.
And we're here representing an organization, a relatively new organization called Fleased. And we are providing a voice for people who signed gas leases before drilling of the Marcellus shale gas was known to threaten our air, our land, our water, our communities. And we are dedicated to trying to basically get out of leases that we think were obtained through fraudulent representation, false business practices.
Yeah, we look at our leases now and we realize that they're so one-sided, and they give all the rights to the gas companies and all the responsibilities to the property owners. There's really no protection for us or our neighbors living in the area.
And when we signed leases, we did not sign on to have toxic chemicals pumped under our land. That is not what we signed up for.
And this shale gas drilling is just so much more intensive than conventional well drilling. So we thought we'd have maybe one isolated little well, you know, somewhere in the area, but now we're threatened with factory drilling, you know. establishment of
industrializing the landscape. That's not okay. So we'll be looking for other people. If people are interested, they should go to fleased.org, our website, and get in touch with us, because it's time for us to band together and try and take some action.
Yeah.
And the more we can show practices that were across the state, the better we'll be able to take on the gas companies.
And we're looking into the possibilities of instituting or initiating a class action or mass action lawsuit.
So join us. Thank you.
Yeah.
you.